G'day everyone, welcome to another edition of Guvs Hero Review videos. This time we are going to continue in our Mechanoid series, taking a look at the 5-star legendary yellow hero, Terminus, the Omnipotent Android. So Terminus is available for summons as we see in the Mechanoid Menace portal, which rolls around once every 8 weeks. It is on a month-on, month-off rotation with the Monster Island Alliance event. Unfortunately, this portal does not have any featured heroes, which means that the 1.2% chance that you have to summon an event legendary hero is as likely to be Terminus as it is to be any of the other Mechanoid event heroes. Terminus has been around for quite a while now. He was introduced in the very first edition of the Mechanoid Menace event back in March 2021. The portal and the family have been expanded a couple times since then, with some new heroes added in April 2022 and again in the June 2023 update. As a little bit of bonus history, Terminus received a balance change, quite a substantial one, in November 2021, which reduced all 3 parts of his special skill. His damage, we can see it now reads 135%, it used to be 178%. His revive chance was reduced from 50% down to the current 35%, and the revival HP that he used to revive them to was dropped from 32% down to 25%. So that is a pretty brutal nerf. Wow, that was great. This is a pretty brutal nerf, all things considered, and was probably a bit too heavy-fisted. At the time, I did do a full video reviewing all of the balance changes that were done, and it is still up on my channel, so just search for balance changes, and you should find it floating around there still. So, yeah, that's some bonus history of him. Flipping over to my roster, and we can take a look at his artwork. Because I am lucky to have a copy of Terminus. So his artwork, it's got like the halo and the excellent power modules of his on his hands there. It is a little bit interesting that he does have that glowing pulsating effect going on. I don't know if anyone's ever noticed that before, but if you watch his hands carefully, they pulse. So yeah, that's his artwork. I sort of get a lot of Vision vibes from the Marvel comic universe going on here, and sort of like the Ultron as well to some extent. So yeah, a little bit of that sort of tiebacks going on, I guess. Flipping back over to the portal, and we can continue looking at his card. So Terminus is a member of the Mechanoids family, which means that he has a 12, 18, 24, or 30% chance to deal to execute a support attack against the main target of an ally special skill when there are 2, 3, 4, or 5 unique members of the Mechanoid family in a battle. A lot going on in that sentence, but basically what it's saying is that if there are 2, 3, 4, or 5 unique members of the Mechanoid family, they do have to be unique, which means that it can't just be 2 copies of Terminus. It's got to be like Terminus and Judge, or Terminus and Shutdown, for example. If you do have multiple unique heroes, they create a chance for them to do a support attack when any of their allies fires a special skill. So if someone shoots an enemy from your team, there's an X percentage that Terminus is also going to hit them with a support attack. So a support attack, if you're not aware, is just a 100% snipe on the specified target. Mechanoid heroes will also gain a stat bonus when they are used during the Mechanoid event. Specifically, they will gain a +4, 8, 12, 16, or 20% attack and defense improvement for having 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5 unique Mechanoid family members in your team. Notably, this is only applying during the Mechanoid Menace event when they're used specifically in the event stages. It doesn't apply in any other format or in any other time of the game. So his personal stats, so Terminus comes in with 601 attack, 744 defense, and 1510 HP. So there is quite a substantial skewing away from his attack stat towards his defense and HP. Most of it, though, went into his HP stat. So yeah, he does have, generally speaking, quite a lower stat line, mostly as a function of his age. So he's been around for quite a while, so he has had there has been a fair bit of power creep that's happened since his introduction to the game. His charge speed is set to 34, which is slow. This is the slowest bracket in the game, requiring 13 tiles to charge, or 7 ghosted tiles. A speed break does require only +2, which you can do using any of the speed guns in the game, including, interestingly, the 3-star option, which gives +3. speed improvement. So a double break can be done, double break does require +9, which you actually can't do with the weapons in the game. Yellow doesn't have any 5-star option granting +9. The best available is the +7 from the 4-star Tris Vector. However, you can actually use the Tris Vector to get the double speed break if you are willing to go to +20 on his class tree and pick up the 4% charge generation node. That is a lot of emblems. It's 1,500 emblems to be precise, so it may or may not be worth it just to get that extra speed break. You cannot get that double speed break if you use the Ragnarok Vantage. It has to be the +7 from the Tris Vector. +6 on the Ragnarok Vantage is not enough. So yeah, whether the speed node is therefore worthwhile to you or not, that's going to have to be a decision you make about how many emblems you want to commit to Terminus. On the topic of his emblems, he is a member of the support class, which grants the hero a chance to withstand negative status effects and charge drain effects. So it is a pretty decent perk, particularly the chance to stop charge cutting effects, such as those from Dragon Fist and Attk. I do love it. It's kind of like an inverse of the recon talent when you think about it. So the support talent will take damage but resist ailments, but the recon talent dodges damage, but takes the ailments anyway. So if you are going to emblem Terminus, and I probably do recommend doing so if you're going to level him, I would go, whoops, don't want that, I want this. I would go a path that looks something like this. So you can see here we've gone following the defense and HP route the entire way down. And this is mainly to improve his survival, because his primary purpose to me is as a reviver. So you're wanting him to outlast the rest of your heroes, or at least the heroes that are dying around him, so he can revive them and carry the fight on. So we can see that we've gone, as we follow it down, we've gone defense, HP. I have prioritized defense over health points, so we've gone defense on that side, defense, HP again, defense with the attack, and then defense. And I did pick up the +19 node for some bonus attack. However, you can probably just as easily leave him at +18, which is the last defense HP node that he gets. So yeah, that's the path that I followed for my Terminus and what I recommend you doing. Flipping back over to the portal, and we can take a look at his special skills. So his special skill is titled Halo of Reconstruction, and at level 10 skill and 34 charge speed, it will attempt to revive 4 random allies with a 35% chance to revive them back at 25% health. If the revive is unsuccessful, it will deal 135% damage to a random enemy. So, a little bit confusing. We'll break it apart, and I'm going to actually start with the revival side of things, because that's kind of what his primary function is to me. So, the revival, it used to be much better. Okay, I'm not going to try and sugarcoat it. It used to be 50%, and it used to revive at 32% health points. However, even at its current state, it is actually still pretty decent at 35% chance. What's actually really good about Terminus is that because it's random allies that can be revived, if you've only got one dead ally, that one dead ally will get 4 attempts to be revived. By contrast to the other reviver in the game, which is Xenia, she has a 33% chance to revive each of the fallen allies, but it's only one off. So for total comparison, if you've got one dead ally in Terminus, there's an 82% chance that that hero will be revived by Terminus, as compared to just the 33% chance with Xenia. So that is a little bit of a benefit to Terminus, is that it is a random ally, not all allies kind of thing. So it does open it up to re-hitting that same ally to try to revive them multiple times. The health points that the hero gets when they're revived is also actually quite comparable to Xenia. So Terminus comes in with 25% health, Xenia brings them back with 23% health. So very, very comparable there. So in terms of just the revival rate, Terminus does come in a little bit ahead of Xenia in terms of the chance to revive, but also the effectiveness of a revival with the health that they're recovered with. One final note on the revived heroes is that they do come back with the full amount of charge they had when they died. So what this often means is they come back often fully charged skills, and suddenly the tables of a battle are completely 180 because what you thought was a dead hero is now alive with full charge and playing whack-a-mole on your heroes. The other aspect of Terminus's skill is that on each unsuccessful revive attempt, he will deal 135% damage to a random enemy. So this also was unfortunately nerfed back in the balance changes, and it's now almost worthless. It's not a very big damage output. So in the rare situations where Terminus does fail to all 4 of his revive attempts, he has an individual attack output of 1070, which is a net attack power per tile of just 329 attack power per tile. So 1070 multiplied by the 4 attempts comes out at where is my number? 4,280, dividing them by the 13 tiles to charge him, and we get that 329 that we can see on this chart here. So when the more likely situations, when there's only 2 strikes or 1 strike on the enemy, that attack power per tile drops from that 329 down to 165 for 2 strikes, and on only 1 strike, it is a paltry 82 damage. In terms of 82 attack power per tile. If we do flip that over into damage terms, Terminus's strikes work out at being roughly 100 damage per strike. It's not much. It really is not much. When it was the 175%, it was about 150 to 200 damage, so it actually was something, but now it's like slapping them with a wet noodle kind of thing. It's not really going to do much to the enemy heroes. So yeah, I do still overall think that Terminus is a pretty good supporting hero. Even after this heavy nerf that he got back in 2021, he still has a role to fill in a lot of teams to enhance the overall team longevity, granting that second chance at life for heroes that have died. The main comparison that Terminus gets is to Xenia, and originally they probably were on much of a muchness in terms of which is better. Terminus had better revival rate and health points and did some okay damage way back when. Xenia, on the other hand, had less revive rate, but generated health and charge for all allies, including the revived ones. Today, though, Terminus is without doubt much inferior to Xenia, right? He still is a decent option, but if you have the choice between which reviver you're going to bring along to your fight, right, I'm going to pick Xenia, who's got heal, charge over time, and has effectively the same revival chance now and the revival health points as Terminus. So yeah, I just prefer heal over time and charge over time as compared to this wet noodle slapping that Terminus is doing. So moving on though, Terminus's grading, he is still pretty decent, right? So I'm going to give him a B grade in attack. For War Machines though, that drops down to a D grade, and that's because he has a low attack stat and he's got low damage output. For Eventing, I'm going to give him a C. His HP is a component to the scoring that's in the event. So it does mean that if you revive heroes that die, it can be beneficial to your scoring for that stage, but you would be better off just restarting the stage and getting a better score anyway. For Raid and War Defenses, I'm going to give him a B+. He's not as brilliant and as overpowered as he once was, but Terminus can still function in a wing position to draw out the battle and bring heroes back for a second chance. He's not the best option anymore, but he is still a decent option. So the best spot for revivers, I'll say, is on the left wing, because what happens is the revived heroes have retained their charge and the defense AI fires from left to right. So if you revive first, then anyone who is revived has an opportunity to cast their special skills as well. So left wing is the best spot for Terminus in a defense team. In the tournament settings, I'm going to give him no grading for Bloody Battle, and this is because Revival is blocked, so there's really no purpose to bringing Terminus along. If you want damage, bring a 4-star hero. You're going to get more damage out of a 4-star hero than you will out of Terminus, so I will not grade him for Bloody Battle. If I did, it would be straight up E- or something like that. So yeah, no grade for Bloody Battles. In buff boosters, I'm going to give him a C+ for attack and a B grade for defense. So that drops off because he's not really creating any buffs at all. But for charged attacks, I'm going to give him a B+ in attack and an A- on defense, because he does go from 34 speed up to 65, so it's a huge speed improvement. So overall, that comes in with a C+ for his attack grade and a B+ for Terminus's defense grade. So one of the few instances where the defensive grade is actually much better suited. So a hero is much better suited to the defense team than in the hands of the player in an attack situation. So yeah, that concludes the content that I have for this review of Terminus. As always, this is just my personal opinion. I do love hearing your thoughts and feedback on these heroes, so please do drop down to the comments section of the video, leave me a note. I love reading them, and I will try to reply to as many of you as I can. If you did enjoy the video and found it to be useful, like the video, subscribe to my channel, but most importantly, share the video around, because realistically, if the video is useful for you, it's also going to be useful to the people that you play with as well. Thank you once again for tuning in and joining me for this review. I do hope that I will see you soon in another video, but until then, good luck, stay safe, and happy gaming. Cheers, bye!